1964 when I began LP. I had no idea that 50 years later, the company would be the standard bearer for percussion around the world. Around 1963, I was working a job in a medical instrument company in New Jersey as an engineer, and I really didn't like that work. I wanted to do something to service the Latin music business and the jazz music I was so fond of.
I was going to Martin before LP existed. Started with bongos, and I used to go, he had a home in Maywood, New Jersey, a basement. He used to work out of there, and I used to go over there. But a couple of other musicians used to go there before LP became LP.
Bob Rosengarten, who was a very popular percussionist at the time, said if I wanted to make some money, build a jawbone that doesn't break. I really had that eureka moment, that aha moment when, after fiddling in my basement in Maywood, New Jersey, I came up with something that I knew, as soon as I created it, was the answer to Bob Rosengarten's request of the jawbone that wouldn't break, that I had a product, and I called it VibraSlap, and for over 50 years, it's been manufactured pretty much as it was originally created. One of the first contacts I had in the pursuit of a percussion business was with Candido Camero, and that was in Condado in Puerto Rico.
He was going all over the places where they have a special Latin band with what they call cabasa. So then Martin Cohen, he came with the idea, the same sound, but different things.
My steel ball chain was the answer, and it became the standard over the world.
And from there on, that's what I'm here today.
And we've been close associates ever since. I found it necessary to embrace artists, percussionists, to use to promote my products. And the first one probably that I met was Johnny Rodriguez, Dandy. The first contact I had, he was probably 15 years old.
I started with Tito Puente in '62 in the Palladium. That's when I met Martin Cohen, and I started playing LP bongos.
The first endorser that I formally had was a man named Willie Bobo. And Willie Bobo was somebody that I was introduced to in a club called Count Basie's in Harlem. And I was introduced to him by Tati Rodriguez, Johnny's mother.
Martin was very close to my family, and my mother and Martin used to go around clubs.
Him being out there and meeting everybody, even though some people would look at him kind of strangely, who's this guy, and kind of stuff,
He ran up against many obstacles, and some guys didn't want to help. He wasn't a Latino. Why is this non-Latin guy gonna capitalize on our world? He was up against that. I think that's why when my mother came in, a lot of the musicians loved my mom. She was a dancer. She was part of the scene. So that really helped them a lot.
She said, hey, endorse this product. The next day, I went to see Willie in the sandbox of Co-op City in the Bronx, where I took his photograph. And it was the first of many sessions I had with the great Willie Bobo, and many artists were to follow.
Whenever we saw Marty, we said, "Oh, we have to be on our P's and Q's. We got to play out because he's gonna be taking pictures." And
I remember going to his house and him taking some photos of me. There was a lightning bolt on the screen behind me. That was my first promo shot with LP.
In 1976, I had my first photo shoot with Los Kimbo, Oreste Vilator, Nelson Gonzalez, Charlie Santiago.
My first photo shoot with LP and Martin Cohen was 1982. I still have it hanged up in the wall.
I met Martin probably in the late 80s or mid 80s at a photo shoot in San Francisco.
One of the most important moments in my career was when I aspired to make a timbal Cuban style, and Gandhi had told me that Tito Puente had a set of these timbales in his mother's apartment in the Bronx.
I got Tito to lend Martin the timbales. Tito wasn't going to lend them, and I was able to make that happen. I'm sure Martin would back me up on that.
And Dandy went to that apartment, got it from his mother, Tito's mother, and I borrowed it and used it as a prototype for manufacturing the timbal that has been used ever since, with modifications to material and some of the construction and the stands. And it was my chance to meet Tito and to photograph him in what I call the birthplace of Latin percussion, Maywood, New Jersey, the house I bought expressly to build bongos in my basement.
Sometimes you see Marty in places where, you know, like you'll go to Europe and he's, you know, and he's there, you know.
I bump into Martin at every jazz festival that I'm at. He's always, you know, hiding in the lobby or backstage.
Back in 1979, I had a very good market in the United States, but I had no market elsewhere. And if I was going to make anything of a substantial company of what I had as a dream, I needed Europe and beyond. I conceptualized bringing the Latin Percussion Jazz Ensemble, which I call this group, with Tito Puente and Patato and Dandy, to Europe.
I think it was a unique opportunity for people to see those instruments and to hear how they sounded and see them played properly. And I think that helped to move that product line around Europe and stuff.
We started in Copenhagen, worked in Montmartre, went to the Tropical Institute in Amsterdam, where it had such a powerful impact that it changed the music in that country. And almost overnight, I grew a market in Europe.
It doesn't matter where I've been in the world, I've been able to have LP gear to play. You know, in whatever obscure country, in the Middle East, wherever I've been touring, I've been able to find what I need to play with LP. And especially the fact that wherever I get it, they all sound great.
I've been touring the world for the last couple of years, and wherever I am in the world, which could be Australia, Europe, Asia, where else? Anywhere, I can always get some LP. It was always available to me.
That's the thing that speaks to me the most about this company, is the commitment to quality, commitment to customers, and the many people who endorse the instrument with great instruments that always sound good in any situation.
I'm very proud and grateful to the many people who contributed to the success of the company I founded. Latin Percussion